Welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick one on the SoundPEATS new set. This is the Air 5. So I would say that this one is primarily an internals upgrade. They are upgrading the Qualcomm system on a chip on the inside of this one. So I think that would be primarily what has changed from 4 to 5. It's going to be this upgrade, and along with the new chip, you do get some functionality that is better than what the previous version was. But I wouldn't say this one is radically different than Air 4. Certainly the design on the case has changed, and now you get an open front. But the half in-ear style shells, I think that's primarily going to carry over from some of their other models as well. But yeah, I do like this new open face case. It's actually pretty cool. It's kind of nice to have it open and visible as opposed to the ones where you drop in and can't really see as much. I think that was actually a pretty nice upgrade. But as I said, for the most part, you're looking at a lot of the internals have changed as opposed to radically different tuning or functionality that has been added. This one is going to use Bluetooth 5.4. You are going to get the new Qualcomm 3091 chip, and that is going to give you aptX adaptive. It's going to get you aptX lossless if your phone supports both of those. And for those of you who are into marketing, you'll see a Snapdragon sound is supported and high-res wireless and a lot of the things that SoundPEATS has talked about on previous sets. All those things kind of carry forward onto the new chipset as well. So you do get a 13 millimeter dynamic driver. You do get 6 hours of playtime. You do get 30 hours with the case. So another thing that is new with the Qualcomms, and you're starting to see this roll out with other brands as well, this AI adaptive noise cancellation. So it recognizes the ear canal structure, how you're wearing it, some of the environmental noises that you're actually hearing that make it through into your ear, and it tries to adjust the ANC level in real time, balancing ear pressure for a comfortable and quiet experience. And for those of you who have actually tried newer TWS with that, you'll sort of know that it's actually a pretty cool thing. It seems to sit there and listen, and if you're maybe mowing the lawn or something with a really constant noise level, it is really, really good at filtering those things out because they are constant, and it can detect them and actually filter them out into a quiet experience really quickly. It's sort of amazing how well that works without having to do crazy levels of 55 dB ANC like you had to do previously. Now that they're getting very targeted as to what noises they are actually trying to reduce. So I do think that is actually a pretty good bonus. Perhaps not with the in-ear style. I'll talk about that in a second. But I do think that SoundPEATS models tend to range from convenience to musical. The half in-ear style, the one without the ear tips, the one that you can just pop out of the case and pop in your ear and go. That tends to be the convenient style. It tends to be a really nice multitasker, but not necessarily a priority on music. It's quick and convenient to get started listening to music, podcasts, gaming, or calls. It's a great multitasker when you're on the go. The downside is the half in-ear style isn't quite as musical, and it's really harder to get a tight in-ear seal, so you get all the bass, you don't have any leakage, so vocals sound a little more natural, and it's also harder to get ANC to be as effective because you don't have as much passive noise cancellation as you do on a fuller in-ear style with a tip that blocks more environmental noise. So that's sort of downside, but definitely the Air 5, it definitely leans more towards pop in your ear and go and use it for a variety of tasks as opposed to something like Sound Engine 4, which was more about music presentation and that full in-ear style. And I think that was more of a set that you would look for if music is your priority. So another thing along the lines of what I just talked about, and I didn't notice this with other prior SoundPEATS sets, they've switched over to the Peats app. And this Air 5 happens to have an ear canal setting, which I thought was actually new, and I didn't go back and check some of the other sets if it appeared. But that is a new feature, and they're obviously trying to allow you to get a better sound styling depending on your ear canal size and trying to adjust the sound levels and ANC depending on what your canal looks like. So, a little bit of this too, that you have this AI trying to figure out what to do. They have this manual control that says you have large ears or large canals or small canals. So I'm not entirely sure what they were trying to go with there. I just thought it was new and something I would point out. But the sound, and really as you would expect with this style set, it is a bassy sound because they pipe in a whole lot of low end, assuming that you're going to get some leakage and it's not going to be a tight fit. So the bass tends to if you were to graph it, it would look quite high, but in your ear, it sounds a little bit right because it assumes it fits a little bit loose. And it's really trying to overcome any loose fit. And then you get these forward vocals, the forward vocal area, which is going to match the intended uses of it. It's not just music, but it's going to be a lot of calls, a lot of podcasts, meetings, and all those things. So you do get a nice bottom end, but really you're talking about a kind of an emphasis right there in the vocal area, and I don't have any problem with this style set. SoundPEATS has lots of music style sets, and if you're primarily interested in music, I would pick up the ones that are in ear. As I said, something like Sound Engine, those tend to be a little bit better fit, better for music in that respect. So lastly, this one is going to be released in conjunction with Amazon's Amazon Prime Days. So that will start tomorrow from when I recorded this, or actually started already. But the new coupon, there's a coupon on the listing, which I think is only 30% off. But for those of you who are into more coupons, this one, SoundPEATS did send out this one. So it's 40 Air, 5 All. And that will give you, it'll bring it down to $53.99 instead of, I think, $62 is what the normal 30% discount was going to give you. So do be aware that if you are going to pick up Air 5, there will be additional coupons that will get you down to 40% as opposed to 30%. And that one, again, as I said, started yesterday and it's going to run through for another 5 days. So that is what I got on Air 5. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.